how do you plan to escape the draft? Well, I mean, it's not even escaping the draft. I mean, I literally have a disability, right? I can't eat anything. So I don't think I'll get drafted, right? Because I'm like literally like, I can't eat the rations, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I literally can't. You know, like I will die. Okay, like I can eat it for like a while, but eventually I'll just keel over and fucking die. Okay, so I feel like I'm safe, right? Right? I'm in the clear, right, guys? There'll be no draft. Well, there's no draft right now. And last I checked, Biden didn't even say. He just said they were gonna put like sanctions on Russia or anything like that. Now, if things escalate, which you know they totally could, you know, then it's a whole other story, right? But as of right now, I mean, it's not like we're going to war like literally today. Like today, it's like, all right, send out the draft. We need as many people as possible. No. At least not in the United States. Certainly not the case. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still skeptical of how serious this is actually going to be. It seems like literally nobody wants us to get involved. But then if we don't, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know. It's about the president, really. You know what I mean? This is me just talking out of my complete ass, all right? Look, like I said, foreign politics can kiss my ass. I mean, I like politics, all right? Domestic politics, okay? Foreign, I don't know. Foreign politics are just mostly a bore to me, honestly. Oh my God, dude. My Twitter, speaking of which, I know we did our little war segment earlier, but dude, the fucking memes that have been coming out of this war, which sounds so bad, but, you know, I don't really care. First of all, this insane tweet right here, which I had to retweet. Not endorsing, of course, but, you know. I just thought it was an interesting take. It was food for thought, basically, right? Twitter never ceases to amaze me. I feel like I'm watching George... Jesus Christ. Only the country version again. We all stand around knowing this is wrong, but helpless to stop it. What can we do? Which is one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it. Here's another way to look at it, right? Ukraine posted this shit post on Twitter, right? Although, to be fair, okay, a lot of people were like, Ukraine is shit posting. They're posting memes and stuff like that. I just look at this as like a political cartoon. And political cartoons have been around for like hundreds of years, at least 200 years, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, I just saw, like, this isn't like a fucking, like, meme. Like, it's obviously, it looks fucking hilarious. It looks like they're shit posting, you know, on the internet and stuff like that. But even they themselves were like, it's not a meme, but this is our and your reality now or something like that, you know? It's a political cartoon, basically. However, they actually are starting to shit post now. So, first of all, the fact that Ukraine has a Twitter account and they act like a fucking teenage girl. Hey, Lithuania, happy State Restoration Day. We share centuries of common history, struggle for freedom, desire for peace. Happy having you as a friend. Heart emoji. These are countries tweeting at each other, right? But then it gets even worse. Hey, people, let's demand at Twitter remove at Russia from here. No place for an aggressor like Russia on Western social media platforms. They should not be allowed to use these platforms to promote their image while brutally killing the Ukrainian people at Twitter support. Like, unironically calling for like, what is this? And then they tweet, tag Russia and tell them what you think about them. So now they are shitposting. This is literally shitposting. Before, it's like, okay, it's a political cartoon. Political cartoons existed. Like, during World War II, there were like Looney Tunes episodes where they were like making fun of Hitler and the Nazis and shit. Like, it's not that out of the realm of historical, you know, well, just history basically, right? But now they're just full on just fucking shit posting. Like, what the fuck is this? Although Putin did give a response to the Ukraine, I have to say, he gave a pretty good response. That's right, boys. If you ever wonder what it would like to live under a world war with the internet, this is literally it. Oh, here he is talking to Joe Biden. It's fucking normie humor, but I'm sorry. It's just too fucking funny. Oh, Tommy wants in. All right, let me add Tommy. He's gonna lecture us about the war.
Dude, we're fucking screwed.
Yeah,
oh,
we're
hey,
screwed.
Tommy.
We're completely screwed.
Yeah, so I see I got you guys pretty scared about a draft, huh?
Dude, they can't draft me, all right? I am physically ill. I'm physically ill. I have a disability. They can't do it.
What's your disability? Let's go over this.
Allergy to gluten. I can't eat the rations, Tommy. I will die.
You have an allergy to gluten. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. I have good news and I have bad news for you. First
Oh
of
boy.
all, let's make this abundantly clear because they're saying on Twitter that I'm saying there's going to be a draft. Even at this point, the odds of a draft are almost non-existent.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they have gone up dramatically, and I'll put my camera on. I can.
Wait, what?
And he left.
I guess he's put on his camera. I'll put up. I'll pull up the Discord here.
Where did I leave off? Let me really because I'm gonna.
Right when you were about to turn on your camera, you hit the end call button.
I must hit the call button. Okay. All right. Look, the odds of a draft are very low, and they're still very low, but they've moved up significantly. I would even say dramatically, and that's only because it's 0 for the last 40 years that you had a chance to get drafted. All right. Here's the thing. This is not hitting a bunch of fucking nut jobs in the Middle East. This is a standing nuclear army that can actually fight old school type of battles as well as this type of battles that you grew up with in Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay, they can do both, like the United States. If they were to invade Poland, right, which I hope I don't eat my words like Hassan has, and most of those those Twitch idiots have in the last 24 hours. If they go any farther than it just really comes down to how crazy this guy is, or really not even how crazy, just how much power he wants. We'll see. Poland may be on the list eventually, but as it stands now, you're not going anywhere. The gluten thing could probably get you out of it, but it just depends on how bad it gets. So in this unlikely scenario, which literally, if they take one step over the Polish border, they better do something. They absolutely better do something. And here's the thing, a lot of people on the right, like myself, are being accused of being pro-Putin. We're not pro-Putin. We're fucking anti going into this thing, half-cocked. And I do think there's a reality that we may get forced in this thing no matter what, because we can't allow them to have this kind of energy and this kind of control over the West with energy. So it's not that anybody's like pro-Putin out there. It's just that we have nobody. The high school, what do they call that when they like the high school president and the whole like administration, what have you? It's like a fake administration. The school council's fucking in charge of the country. That's the problem. Yeah. And that's why he made his move, right? We have nothing but incompetence everywhere. So if it gets really bad, it might not matter if you're autistic. If it gets really bad, all this stuff might not give a shit. They give a shit. Remember, when countries get really desperate, they put kids in battle. Historically, this is not a completely insane way of speaking.
Desperate times call for Smaggle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's like people like me that are like, you fucking asked for this shit. And when I say that, I don't mean the Ukrainian people on the ground. I said, like, the way the West has positioned themselves over the past 22 years, and this guy being right in front of their face, the fact that just a couple months ago, General Milley is talking about, I want to know what white rage is. A fact that the political left that is so for this war right now is that was against every other incursion in history. Calling everybody that thinks this might be a bad idea or blames Joe Biden for putting this position, or just or the Europeans that have done nothing to protect themselves since the wall fell, is some kind of traitor. No, we're not a traitor. No, nobody's a traitor. I don't like Putin. I don't like this. And by the way, this affects me more than it affects you. It's right in my backyard, and everybody gets their gas to the Ukraine and Germany.
Nice.
So what might happen is you have to fight. There's no way around it. And that's a draft scenario because of the gas. You remember that whole I don't know if they said this because they said this in 91 when I was a kid. No blood for oil.
Germany have a draft?
They used to. They don't anymore.
Okay.
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because Germany proudly announced, I think it was in 2007, proudly that they had no longer did the Bundeswehr have the ability to protect the borders of Germany. Proudly announced that. In other words, this was a symbol of peace by shutting down. And another thing is they have a tax-free military there as is. So look, NATO ain't happy. Yeah, he's trying to break NATO in half. And here's another thing. I can't wait to talk to my stream later. NATO is the most incompetent group of fucking soldiers that are overweight, that are never tested. The only might behind NATO is Americans, the American infantry. That's all it is. They don't have patriotism like they do in Texas, okay? They don't have a warrior culture, at least enough pockets like we do around the United States.
Well, okay, I gotta ask though, because you put out that Twitter video talking about how the culture in the military has changed, and I mean, you didn't really say it, but you were basically implying that it's a lot softer now than it used to be, basically, right? Is that fair?
Well, I don't know. I'm starting to. My guys are calling me up again, and I don't want to get into all that because I'm still taking all that. I left 10 years ago, so obviously things have changed, and people were complaining back then. I am hearing that that I have heard from several guys that I served with that were like privates that are now E5s and E7s and E8s that they are afraid to discipline women. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been hearing that for years. I don't know how.
Well, discipline them or like hit them?
No, discipline them. Like
Right.
You're in trouble because you didn't complete this task.
Okay.
Because even a whisper of sexual harassment will result
Right.
in the end of your hard-earned career. I have heard that. That can't stand if you're going to have a if you're going to have an effective army. Like I have a friend of mine. I know he's good. I know he's fair, and he doesn't hate women at all. Right? He's a real family man. But he told me yesterday. And by the way, they won't let him retire. He's stuck back here. He told me yesterday that when a woman asks him for something, like a female soldier, he just says yes.
Wow. Because it's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk, and he's too close
What
to
a
retirement.
simp.
He's too close to retirement. So yeah, I don't know. So what I'm basically saying, what I'm concerned about the most is not so much the United States and not really England, even though they don't have enough troops. It's the warrior culture was used as a symbol of people that were war hawks and hated war. And where somebody like me I'm a big believer in, walking softly and carrying a big stick. That big stick is the United States military. That big stick could have been Germany. That big stick could have been Italy, could have been France. But these people saw military spending as something that was inherently evil and something and something like almost Hitler-like. So they allowed us to plant ourselves in Germany, and Trump used to bitch about this, never raise an army, and they literally lived under a tax-free military for the past 50, 60 years now. And they sit there, they wax poetic about, well, we have free healthcare. You can afford it. You have a tax-free military. Mm-hmm. You have a group of people that cannot allow for economic reasons for the Russians to invade your land. And they act like they're above it. I told the story when I went into a bar, 2005, in uniform. I shouldn't have been there, and I was drinking, and all of a sudden this old man next to me goes, Bush is Hitler, murder, and he's like yelling at me, but he's drunk and I didn't give a shit, and he was an old fucking man, right? I didn't get upset about that shit. And the girl behind the bar kind of leaned in and said, you know why they're mad? And I'm like, yeah, because, you like Germany, right? I was like, yeah, I love Germany. He's like, it's a wonderful place. She goes, we used to be like you. We don't need armies. We don't need war. And you should really take a page out of our book and the world would just be a better place. While I'm in uniform, why she knows why I'm there. She knows the history about why I'm there, and she knows exactly what we're doing. She's probably pushing 40. I'm guessing she's like 37 right now. I wonder if she has kids. I wonder what she's thinking right now, because Poland is a border country to the Ukraine, and it also connects to Germany as well.
Right.
What is she thinking right now? That's the point. They never got it. They thought their peace was because they were peaceful. No, their peace was paved with American and English blood. And they don't understand these simple fucking things. That's why Hassan can come out and say something completely insane. I don't think they have any kind of counterattack ability. And I don't, even though he doesn't know a fucking thing. But Hassan is not alone. We have lots of people in positions of power and positions of influence that have no merit. We have them in the White House. We have them, AOC. We have them in corporations. Shit, Disney, fucking Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy runs our country right now. Not literally, figuratively, metaphorically. She runs our country. We have a bunch of people in positions of power that used networking to get where they were, and they have no merit. So here's what you get when you have too many of them at the top, because you're always going to have those people, the social climbers, that get through and are really successful. But now that they are the majority, and now you see the results of this. You don't know how to deal with somebody like Putin. And the only thing that you can say to combat your own incompetence is to call everybody supporting Vladimir Putin or saying this is all about white supremacy. That's all. That's it. This is it. This is what Mediger warned us about in 2014 when he was the internet aristocrat, and he says, you got to see these, before they were called SJWs, you got to see what's coming. And it's here. Because Vladimir Putin doesn't have to worry about a media or SJWs, or if he believes, or he could say, you know what, men don't get pregnant, and nothing will happen to him. Nothing will happen to him. We are here. The incompetence has risen. The cream of incompetence is at the top, and they are in charge. Kathleen Kennedy, a woman who was given Star Wars, who refused to put Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo in the same fucking scene in the same fucking movie, right? Because that would have been easy fucking money, is in charge of the country. That mentality is in charge of the country. There you go. That's it. That's why we're here. So if you get drafted, remember that. Remember that it probably wasn't fucking necessary. None of this was necessary. Yeah. I'm unhinged. No, I've been there. I've done my time, Tupac of gaming. It's your motherfucking turn now. I'm not unhinged at all. I've been waiting for this to happen, and it finally did.
Wow, so this was a really cozy stream, wasn't it, Augie?
You started in the middle of a war?
I got this one guy in chat asking me to give your thoughts on the Canada putting a draft. I don't know. I don't know if you fucking know or care about Canada, but this guy keeps asking me.
Well, here's what I think about Canada.
Are they going to send Bo Blacks?
Justin Trudeau is the fucking happiest man on the planet right now. That's what I think about Canada. What? Yeah, I mean, look at it. He can't even solve a protest. He acts emergency powers to shut down a protest. And everybody in the United States is like, well, that's okay. That's no big deal. Yeah. Even though that's something dictators do. But nobody on the left called him a dictator. You know, nobody on the left with any kind
excuses
of power.
for it.
Maybe some reasonable leftists like somebody like Crown T or Jimmy Dore or something like that. But no, not an establishment. No, of course not. Mm-hmm. They did. I mean, can you imagine if Donald Trump called in emergency powers to take down BLM protests?
Jesus Christ. That would have been nuclear.
Man. This yeah. So I mean, literally, what I think I'm seeing, it's something I always thought I'd see. It's just about the tip. The only thing that I'm hopeful for is he stops at Ukraine, and then he makes a right hook into the Balkans, and that might keep him busy for a while. But I tell you something, I don't believe any of this shit. Although, look, my heart is with these people. I feel awful for the innocent Ukrainians that have only known.
Yeah, I saw a video you put up on Twitter. I don't even know if I want to play that on YouTube, but
I know it's you know what?
Pretty bad.
It's not great. You don't want to see you don't see anything, but it gets the point.
It's just emotional.
You hear the baby cry, and that's what it is. Yeah. That's the worst case scenario. This is what you don't want to hear.
There's nothing graphic in the video. It's just like
no. You probably should. I think you should. If you're gonna not keeping the stream up, I say do it. I really think it sends an important message, and I'm not trying to gross anybody out. But I'd be lying if I said I am trying to scare you, because this is a regular. Look at the area. It's a regular town. It's a regular European village. It's like everywhere else. And it's that somebody shoves a rocket up your ass.
Yeah. Dude,
and when I say Kathleen Kennedy, again, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor of incompetence. And I'm trying to relate to young people.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd say put it up, man.
Here's another video that doesn't really have any. There's no like violence or like.
The one with the baby cry is what's really important, because it's not violent, but it gets the point across.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because it can happen. You know.
Let me see here. It's on your Twitter account, right?
Yeah, it's on my Twitter account. You got to scroll down. I can get it for you if you really want.
There we go.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing.
I didn't know it to blow up like it. I took it from somebody else because I wanted to. Because if I just retweeted it or quote tweeted it, it wouldn't have got as round too much. I really wanted to say, because I know a lot of young guys listen to me. I really wanted young men to see this, but obviously a lot more have. But go watch this, please.
Mm-hmm.
It's as real as it gets.
Чу, я не бачу. Ой, Боже.
Yep.
It's not fear marking. It's It's shining a light on reality, and the fact that this can happen. I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable, Juicy Handshake. But that's the point. We don't want it to come to this, and measures should be taken and positions should be taken. I have to admit, the only person that I've heard that has made any sense to me on the far kooky fucking Twitch left was goddamn Vosh. I mean, General Obi-Wan Kenobi Vosh said we have to draw a line and say like take a Cold War stance, which makes perfect sense to me. And probably the best case scenario, when we both guarantee ourselves mutual annihilation, total annihilation, that might stop the craziest of dictators. But it depends. Maybe he doesn't care if there's a nuclear bomb. We'll find out. The Soviets cared. Maybe Putin doesn't. I don't know. I certainly know that.
Which American city are they going to nuke first?
It won't be like that. It'll probably be over here first, and then it just go from there. Then it'll be like all the fucking World War II propaganda or post World War II propaganda.
And if they want to go after any nuclear any city, it'll probably be Alaska first, because that's where
Alaska.
No,
it'll
be really.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The dirty. I mean, who fucking wrote me today? And they said, I don't know why he's doing this. Nobody wins in war. That sounds like some stupid Saturday after school special.
Nobody
bullshit.
wins in war.
Nobody wins in war. Yeah, it is. The guy holding the gun and putting the fucking bullet in the guy below him's head. He wins the war.
Well, who wins war is the chat. The chat wins the war.
No. The people who win the war aren't the
Twitter.
fucking people who fight. Are the people who supply the guns. They're the winners.
So I don't know. But, Vosh made absolutely the most sense to me. I know he's a complete nut. But that, he started talking like a general. But that does make the most sense to me. And we're not in a position to do that from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, like everybody in Europe is in a panic. From what I can hear.
Yeah, I'd imagine. It's a little bit, more firsthand for y'all.
Nobody knows what to do. We're literally like the Ukrainians right now, but in less danger. Nobody knows what the fuck to do. And the reason nobody knows what to do is because they think men can get pregnant. And that's a metaphor too, not literal. We have a bunch of people that are worried about their own fucking power, that believe in these idiotic things as far as their worldview being so distant from actual reality. People that say my truth, they're in charge. They're in charge. Mediger warned us. They said they was coming for the universities, and then they became human resources, and then they became politicians. And then they're in the White House and the Students' Council's in charge. Mm-hmm. So, I know it could be easily spun. And like, Tommy said Kathleen Kennedy is like, no, but that's what I'm saying. This thing worked outwards. And now that it's in charge, you can get an insane comment by Cenk Unger saying this is about white supremacy. And the reason the Republicans support Putin, they don't, is because they just want a different white warlord. Well, Biden's white, you dumb motherfucker. And older. It's just beyond ridiculous, and these people have influence.
And more racist, dude. Biden's had like 20 N-word clips.
Here's the worst. Here's the worst part of this. The only way to rid yourself of this is tragedy. That's the only thing, because you're not going to give a motherfuck about. I saw somebody. I quote tweeted. There's some guy. The Ukrainians aren't vaccinated in very high numbers. Are you motherfucking kidding me? Did you see that rocket almost go through that guy's house? From a goddamn Russian Meg? Really? Yeah, people are talking like that. People be talking about trans fucking rights. And I'm not saying there's not a conversation there. You can't have it at any absolute time. But this ain't it. And they can't make the distinction. I mean, I got generals talking about white rage and all that other stuff. So it's infected everything. This kind of ideology has affected everything. And
nobody's gonna hear about white rage more than when the draft gets talked about. And that's white rage right there.
I got to be honest.
From me.
William Mack said to me, he's like, I bet you're loving this right now, Tommy. And I was like, no, not really. I don't want to see anybody get fucking hurt. He's, you got to be loving this a little. I was like, well, like in what way? He said, don't tell me you haven't thought about the TikTokers getting a draft notice. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird fantasy.
Twitter has been a riot. You have to admit. I mean, it's been absolutely.
It's been insane.
It's been bonkers.
They don't know. Nobody knows what to do with themselves. And there's a part of me. I mean, I don't really see like it's I told you so sounds so simple, but there is a part of me that wants, people to stop living in my truth and really understand what that rocket and that crying baby means. And that's the truth. That I couldn't mean that more than anything. And what a reality that is, and how tragic that can be. And that, we have countries and ways of life that are worth fighting for and dying for. That's what I want people to see. It's not that I'm pro-Putin. It's just I'm anti-incompetence. And when you tell young people that don't have their fucking shit together, that haven't formed a business, haven't done anything, that they need to be speaking out in civil rights issues, when they don't know anything other than if I speak out in civil rights issues, I'll be seen as more adult and I'll get along with the woke and this might help me. When you have that being the people that are rising to the top, these are the results you can get. This is the result. So, hey, the adults are in charge now. That's all I got to say.
Let's go.
Yeah. Good luck. They say in Germany, viel Glück, mein Freund. So, all the best, man. Have a great stream.
All right. Talk to you later.
Have a good day, Tommy.
Take care, Smaggle.
All right. Well, cozy coverage. Am I right, boys? Am I right? Tommy with the reality check there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually like the whole meme of like getting like scared about getting drafted and stuff like that. This is boring. Nobody gives a fuck. Talk about Fly Man. I'm not actually fucking scared about getting drafted. I'm just fucking memeing on Twitter. Ironically enough, I put up a fucking tweet talking. I was like, you pussies afraid of the draft or something? Like, people 100 years ago were literally like begging to get fucking drafted and stuff like that. And then a bunch of people got mad. They're like, I'm not scared. I just don't want to go to a pointless war. I'm like, it's a joke. It's a fucking meme. Relax. And then I have people being like, oh, wow, you're making jokes about this or something like that. I'm like, yes. Yes, I am. Yeah.
This is how you cope, Augie? Sheesh.
It's not even really about coping. I mean, I'm not crazy about what's going on, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, what am I going to do? Like fucking sit here and get fucking sad about it in Dallas, Texas? Or am I just going to fucking, look at Twitter and make the best out of it? I don't know. Like, me making a joke isn't really helping or hurting, Ukrainian families that are getting like bombed right now, right? Like, regardless of whether I make a joke or not, it doesn't really change their situation. So, and I'm not even laughing at them or anything like that. They're not the butt of the joke. That they're not even like the target. You know what I mean? So I just don't see like why people are being like kind of cringe about it. But I mean, I'm not surprised. People get really sensitive.